economics, fundamentals of economics. So today's topic would be the fundamentals of economics. Here, as per your syllabus, you need to understand the economic organizations and utility, wealth, production, capital, central economic problems, and all. Perhaps in my introductory class, you have heard those names. I repeat several times. I pronounced utility, wealth, production, capital, problems of the economy. Those things I have several times I have used. So you are familiar with those words now, and today you will be knowing the meaning of those words what I have used in the introductory class. After that, the core economic area, demand analysis, supply, and all that will be started. That will be started in the following classes. So today, first, I would start in the chapter the fundamentals of economics as per your syllabus. It talks about the economic organizations. What actually the economic organizations are? What actually the economic organizations are? Economic organizations refers to economic organization refers to the different economic units. Here, as in one side, it refers to the nature of the economy, social economy, this mixed economy, then capitalistic economy, socialistic economy. So this is one part. In another way, also it can be defined as, which is very much required for your syllabus. That is the different economic units means different economic heads. Economic heads. Household is one economic units. If you don't know this, it is taught in the BBA class that circular flow of economy. Circular flow of economy. In economy, you will find there are different sectors, primary sector, tertiary sector, and secondary sector. So in different sectors, primary sector, agriculture is considered in primary sector, means core industries, the basic industries, or the basic sector, basic unit of the economy, that is considered in primary sector. Secondary sector, the farms or the manufacturing sectors. Manufacturing units are considered in secondary sector, and tertiary sector, the services sector. Services sectors are considered. Now, if you think those service sector, then your manufacturing sector and agriculture sector, they all are interrelated to each other. See, when a product is produced in the agriculture sector, after the basic consumption, the surplus is sent to the secondary sector, means manufacturing sector. In manufacturing sector, that products what has been produced in agriculture sector is used as the raw materials, and after that, from the raw material in the secondary sector, final product is produced, and that is sold in the market. So that is the part of the secondary sector. And tertiary sector is the service sector. Say where services are sold, maybe the transportation, maybe the doctor's service, maybe the teacher's service, where the services are sold is considered under the tertiary sector. So in circular flow of income, you will find all sectors are interrelated to each other. See, when agriculture sector, the farmers produce certain product, after basic consumption, the amount of product is transferred to the secondary sector. Then that means, say, amount of produce means surplus. When it is sent to the secondary sector, means it is sold to the secondary sector. Then secondary sector used to pay money to the primary sector. So farmer receives money from the industrialist. So transactions takes place. Again, the farmers use this surplus product from the primary sector. Manufacturers use this surplus of the primary sector as the raw material. So when it is used as raw material, definitely that will be used in the machinery. So when it is used by the machinery, somebody is required to handle this machinery. So the farmers are engaged there. So when farmers sell their service, so farmer gets wage. Again, after that, after production, when this final product, say pen, say paper, say lipstick, say some these your toothpaste. So whatever the produced in the secondary sector, those are sold in the market. So when those are sold in the market, then those farmers or the service elder, whoever, they again purchase from the market. So that means they are paying money to the industrial sector. So in one way, industrial sector is paying money to the primary sector when they purchase the raw materials from the primary sector, and when they purchase the service from the farmers or the primary sector. Again, they get money when the final products are sold. So who buy those? Those farmers, those service holders who sold their services to the secondary sector. So you see, money flows from one sector to another sector, flows from one sector to another sector. It is the cyclical way of flowing money or the circulation of money in the economy. Circulation of money in the economy. So here you will find those households, those who are engaged in primary sector or secondary sector or tertiary sector. Those households are different households are different economic units, They are different economic organizations. The farms, different farms, maybe sugar manufacturing farm, maybe pen manufacturing farm, or maybe pen manufacturing industry, or different manufacturing industry. They are different economic organizations, So those different units, economic units, are referred here as economic organizations. This is a basic concept of economics which you need to know to understand or to study the economic analysis, which will be coming in the following chapters or units. Then question comes to the utility. As per your syllabus, you need to understand utility. What is utility? Utility refers actually the satisfaction. It is a measure of that which is should to be maximized in any situation involving a choice. So in the definition of Robbins, I said Robbins developed or defined economics in terms of science of scarcity or the science of choice. So science of scarcity, why? Because the resources are scarce. The scarce resources have to be utilized properly. If it is not utilized, then there will be the underutilization of the capacity. So resources are scarce. Those scarce resources have to be utilized properly. But there are many alternatives. If I repeat the example what I gave you last class, that there are different modes of transportation. You can come to the college by the bicycle, using bicycle. You can use two-wheeler, you can use four-wheelers, but it depends upon your affordability whether you will be able to pay money for purchasing two-wheelers or for purchasing four-wheelers, whatever. So here the question arises your ability. Here the question arises ability to pay, and then after that you need to choose. If you are afford to purchase two-wheeler, then by two-wheeler, by four-wheeler, then by four-wheeler, or if it is by bicycle, then it is by bicycle. So it depends on your ability to pay. What is called the purchasing power. So another new term you are knowing here, the purchasing power. Purchasing power is nothing but the ability to pay. How much you are able to afford to purchase a certain or the particular product or the commodity. So ability to pay is the purchasing power. Now you see, you are purchasing that product. After purchasing, whether you are satisfied or not, this satisfaction, measurement of satisfaction, is done through utility. So utility here refers here satisfaction. Now let me give you one more example to make your concept of utility clear. Then after that I shall enter into the healthcare example from the healthcare sector. Say there are somebody who is feeling very thirsty, very much thirsty. At the time of when you are very, very, very thirsty, you have been offered a glass of water. After drinking that glass of water, you will feel, oh, means what? Means you are getting more satisfaction, more satisfaction. Level of satisfaction is very, very, very high. After that, you are offered a second glass of water. Second glass of water also you drank. After drinking the second glass of water, you did not express like, because the level of satisfaction, high satisfaction which you received, got, that was after drinking the first glass of water. In second glass of water, after drinking the second glass of water, your level of satisfaction was not that much high as much it was in drinking after the first glass of water. So third glass of water you drank, but or you completely did not drink, or you drank but not that much satisfied. Fourth glass of water you were offered, you refused to drink that. That means what? The level of satisfaction is declining, is reducing. It is called the reducing satisfaction or reducing utility or the declining utility. So the utility decreases, utility increases depending upon the utility, whether you are satisfied or not after purchasing that product. Suppose you are a lover of Rasagolla, for example. When first Rasagolla is offered, you are very happy, you are very glad that you have got one Rasagolla. Second Rasagolla is not bad. Third Rasagolla, okay. Fourth Rasagolla, refused to it. So you see, here also the level of satisfaction matters. Those level of satisfaction is nothing but the utility. But you are choosing. There are many opportunities. You want to eat any sweety thing, sweet, but the sugar is there, rasagolla is there. There are different types of sweets are also available. But you eat too sweet rasagolla because there are many options. Out of those options, you are choosing your best one, which you like most. So the question of utility comes in. Now, if I give you the example from your healthcare sector, suppose antacids. You are suffering from gastric or gas problem. Now you need to take any type of the acidity or antacids. So for that, there are many antacids are available in the market. Maybe Aciloc is there, Rentec is, and antacids are available. But you choose any one and you purchase that one. This choice here sometimes influences by the doctors also. Suppose doctor says this is better than that, this will help to improve, solve your gastric problem. So because of the influence of doctor's advice or the doctor's diagnosis also, here demand arises. You try to purchase that Rentag, Acilag or any other type of medicines. It depends on here your demand influences by the doctor's diagnosis or doctor's prescription or doctor's advice, whatever. But there are choices, many alternatives available to solve the problem for which you are suffering. So out of Rentec, Aciloc or many others antacids, you are purchasing only one. So here the question of choice comes in. You are choosing one, whether you are made by to make the choice or you are choosing yourself, whatever it may be, you are choosing. After that, if that medicine works properly, then you are satisfied because that removes your problem, that remove to your suffering. So that remove your problem for which you are suffering. So here the question of satisfaction comes in. This level of satisfaction is measured by utility. So utility is the satisfaction, measurement of satisfaction. It is the measure of that which is should to be maximized any situation involving a choice. Choices are involved and satisfactions are measured. Then next concept of health economics is the wealth. What is wealth? Now if we ask that what is wealth, whether you are wealthy or not, so automatically question comes whether you have more money or not. It is the common concept, whether you have more money or not. After that, whether you have more gold or not, whether you have more property, land, these real estates or not. So usually we feel those things to recognize a person as wealthy person. But in our definition, when we defined, when Adam Smith defined economics in 1776, he used the word wealth only. Why? That time there was no monetary system. People did not know about the word of money, what money refers to. So since those things does not introduced in the economy, so people did not know the importance, did not know the meaning of money. So that time people were thinking about wealth. Then what the wealth is then? Wealth refers to any valuable thing, any valuable thing, any valuable thing. Wealth measures the value of all assets of worth owned by a person, community, economy, or a country. Essentially, wealth is the accumulation of scarce resources. Specific people, organizations, and nations are said to be wealthy when they are able to accumulate many valuable resources or goods. So, what I said, wealth refers to the valuable goods. Wealth refers to something which can accumulate the valuable goods or the products or the resources. Again, that resources are scarce. What are those resources then? The resources are land, labor, and capital. Those are the basic resources. Those resources, as I explained in the last class, land is limited, labor is limited, capital is also limited. You can say, yes, sir, capital is limited. If we think this money is limited, money we have in our pocket, in father pockets, father's salary is limited. Again, there is limitation of capital in the country. So in large concept, capital is limited. If we talk about the country's capital, then land, if you think at your home, you have 2 acres of land where you have constructed your house, where you are cultivating. So altogether you have 2 acres. If you want to utilize more, you will not be given unless you purchase from somebody, because it is limited. Then come to the laborers, land labor. Labor is also limited. Why? You can say, yes, there is several people who are unemployed. There is always unemployment problem. But sir, you are asking that laborers are limited. There are many people who wants to get job. Many laborers are available. Due to COVID-19, again, you will find there are many people who have lost their jobs. But you are asking the laborers are limited. How is it possible? It is possible because efficient laborers are limited. Adam Smith, in his book, The Wealth of Nations, he defined economics, an inquiry into the nature and the causes of nations, where in his book, he made the distinction of labor and the division of labor. He said, a particular task can be completed by dividing among the laborers. Suppose an engineering job, there are something where civil engineers are required. There are something where electrical engineers are required, where mechanical engineers are required. So if according to the nature of the job, if those tasks are divided or assigned to different categories of engineers, then the quality of product will be good. So the product will be qualitative. So work has to be divided among the laborers as per their efficiency or the specialization. Work due to specialization. So the work will be completed. So the specialization comes in, choices comes in, choices comes in, and the wealth is defined. The valuable thing which helps to accumulate the resources, and since the resources are scarce, then those resources have to be utilized properly. So laborers are also scarce. To get the efficient labor, who are required, who will be fit for a particular work, there are always scarcity. There are many laborers. All laborers cannot be useful for engineering jobs. All laborers won't be useful to diagnose the disease, because for those particular specialized work, specialized trainings are required. The question comes whether that laborer whom you are talking about, are they trained for diagnosing disease? Are they trained for doing the work of civil engineers? Are they trained for the work of mechanical engineers or electrical engineers? No. That is why there are scarcity of getting the specialized laborers. So the resources are scarce. If we talk about the factors of production, land, labor, capital, and organizations, those four are the factors of production. Remember here the distinction between the resources and the factors of productions are, when you talk about the resources, there are three types of resources. Those resources are land, labor, and capital. But when we talk about the factors of production, there are four factors of production we talk about. They are land, labor, capital, and organizations or enterprise. Those four factors of production. Resources are three, factors of production are four. So resources are limited. So those resources have to be utilized properly, and the wealth is something which helps to procure those resources. Then comes to production. What is production? Unless production takes place, business will not be possible. Economy will not be not function properly. So productions refers to creation of utility. There are two definitions I shall tell you, which I will explain also. Production refers to the creation of utility. What is creation of utility? Suppose if you take an example, pen manufacturing industry, for example. So to produce pen powder is required, one machinery is required, one building is required, one labor is required. So one laborer who will handle that machinery, the machinery which have the production capacity, and the pen powder which is used as the raw material, and the building where the machine will be installed. So those 5-6 things are required. Very simple example. So after that, after employing the these inputs, output pen will be produced. After that, production of the pen is disposed, means it's sold in the market. When it is sold in the market, we the people, we buy those products. After that, what we do? We write using that pen. So when we write using that pen, if that pen we find this ink is very good and we are able to write easily, then we say yes, this pen is good. We are satisfying in using that pen. So the satisfaction takes place, means utility takes place. So by producing this pen, utility has been created. And we will use that product. After using this product, we will assess whether that quality of the pen is good or not. If we can write smoothly, then we say if this pen is good, means we are satisfied. So the satisfaction takes place, utility takes place. So utility is created by producing the product. That is why production is defined as creation of utility. In another way, production can also be defined as transformation of inputs to output. Production is a process through which input is transformed into output. Inputs are or are or is whatever, if it is one input or more than one input. Inputs are transformed into output. Inputs are transferred into output. If we take the same example of pen manufacturing industry, so pen powder is the raw material which is used. Pen powder is the raw material which is used. After that, this by the process of conversion or transformation with the help of the machinery, the pen powder is produced as pen, which is considered as the final product or the ultimate product, which the final consumer or the ultimate consumer used. After that, they certify whether the quality of the product is good or the quality of the product is bad, whether that particular customer is satisfied or dissatisfied, according to the utility is measured. So production is nothing but the transformation from inputs to output by the process of production, process of manufacturing, process of conversion. So production refers to the conversion of or the transformation of inputs, transformation from inputs to output by the process of manufacturing. Then next comes in the capital. I have already said capital is nothing but a one of the factors of production, or you may say it is one of the resources. Those resources are scarce, so capital is most important. Capital has different use. Capital is used for every purposes, for transaction of economic commodity, economic services, loans, and for every transactions capitals are used. So capital is most important. Obviously, all the resources are important, not only the capital resources or the agents. Now you see, we have talked about the resources, land, labor, capital, and the factors of production, the land, labor, capital, and organizations. Those factors of production, you see, those are nothing but the economic agents. So question comes, the central economic problem. The central economic problem is nothing. It is a problem faced by the economy. Problem faced by the economy. Problem faced by the economy means problem faced by the economic human being. Those who live in the society. So that means we the people, we live in the economy. Our behavior is studied in the economy, and our problems are studied in the economy. See, when we get up from morning to evening, there are numerous goods and services are required to make our satisfaction fulfilled, to make our utility fulfilled. Those are rice, those are different necessary goods, luxurious commodities, etc. Those luxurious commodities or the necessary commodities are produced in three sectors of the economy. Education also. What are those? Primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector. In all those three sectors, those products are produced. Or the services are produced. And the question arises, yes, production takes place. What will produce? What will be produced? So what will be the reply? The production, the firm or the three sectors, primary, secondary, and tertiary sector, will produce or supply those goods and services which are required to meet the demand of the society. Demand of the society means demand of the people who live in the society. Their demand, which will fulfill. That depends upon the availability of the resources, and the resources are scarce. So the first central economic problem is the what to produce. So it has been defined, it has been decided what will be produced as per the demand, as per the needs, as per the requirements of the people who live in the society. So first central economic problem is what to produce. What is the second central economic problem? how to produce. How those products or the services will be produced. There are many ways to produce. There is labor intensive technology, there is capital intensive technology. What is labor intensive technology? The process in which more laborers are required to complete a certain job. If you look into the example of a bank, previously, if you mark that 10 or 20 years back, suppose somebody wants to visit the bank to withdraw 1000 rupees, he has to spend one whole day, because he will go ask a requisition slip from the clerk, and then the requisition slip will be given. After giving the requisition slip, then he will fill it up, then somewhere he will deposit, then somewhere will enter to the journal, then he will again come to the teller counter. He will be in the queue, and then your time will come, you will be given money. After that, again you will be going back to that clerk where from you collected this, where from your has been maintained in the journal. You will enter your transaction in the journal, then you will get fee. So it is the job of 2-3 hours. So that is labor intensive job. To complete your this withdrawal of 1000 rupees, how many laborers were required? First, you went to the reception desk or the person who were giving you the requisition slip. One. Second, you went filling up. You went to the second clerk who will sign on that yes, this filling is correct. Second, 2. Third, you went to the clerk. 3. Teller counter. 3. Again, you are coming back to the clerk for your entry. 4. So 4 people were involved to make your one transaction, means to complete a job. Now what you are doing? You are transacting money through NEFT, RTGS and all. Or if you need cash, you are going to the ATM counter, pressing a button, getting a money. Within 2, 3, 5 seconds or a minute or 2 minutes, your task is completed. Due to what? Due to the invention of technology, invention of computer, whatever the technology. So there are there is labor intensive technology, capital intensive technology. To install those capital intensive technology, money or capital has been required. So capital intensive technology. So which method, which process will be adapted to produce or to supply that production or the services is the question. So how to produce? How to produce? First central economic problem was what to produce. Second is the how to produce, and third is for whom to produce. So the production has taken place. Who will use that? Who will use that? Who will buy that product? The answer is economic units or the economic agents. Economic agents. What are the economic agents? Land, labor, capital, and organizations. The factors of production. Those factors of production who were involved in producing that, they are the economic agents. Those economic agents will be using that product, means finishing the utility up. So finishing the utility will be done by the economic agents. So for whom to produce means it is produced for the economic agents. Then efficiency of resources, efficiency of utilization of resources. Efficiency or utilization of resources, since the resources are scarce, resources are limited, therefore those resources have to be utilized properly. If not utilized properly, then there will be problem in the first question, what to produce means, or how to produce means. What to produce means, and after decision of the question, what to produce those products and services, again the resources will be required, which are limited. If those are not utilized properly, there will be less production, there will be total economic loss for the nation. Thank you.